I definitely enjoyed our conversation. We was on you was on the show I think July of last year. Oh
It was pretty close. It was like mid
yeah,
June or yeah.
yeah, June or July. It's one of the two. It was summertime, so we in the ballpark in that regard. Uh, how is your 2020? How has this new year been treating you so far?
I can't complain. Because I was, when you said that the last time that we talked, I was thinking about that. Because I had just started. Like, I think I talked to you right after I had just had my first match, and like we're going into July, and I had a whole bunch of things lined up, and I ended up getting my nose broke the last day of June. And I had to have surgery to get it fixed because it was so bad. So I had to cancel all of my July, half of my August. So kind of a little bit of a setback, and then trying to recover from that. Come the end of August into the rest of the year. But so far, it's been pretty cool. I've got to do what I consider to be some pretty cool stuff. Debut in my hometown, which is pretty rad. Um, got a lot of things coming and going here. Started managing Paragon, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not. We have a little thing going in a few different promotions, so that's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Let's start right there. How did that came about?
Um, well, Paragon, he lives in Columbus, and where I trained is in Columbus, and he had hurt his shoulder probably about a year or so ago, and he was trying to get back into the ring, so he just wanted to see how his shoulder was feeling, and he ended up coming to one of my classes, and we ended up working a match together. And, we just became friends after that. We would communicate back and forth, and, like, he was helping me design gear, and we would just bounce ideas off of each other. And he hit me up like October, November, and he's like, hey, how would you feel about managing me? Like, I'm starting at the new promotion. We come in, would do this and do that. Totally on board with that. Excuse me, because, we have a good dynamic and a good natural chemistry anyway. Like, if you know Paragon, he's super funny dude, really good wrestler, great personality. So we just clicked naturally and kind of just been doing our thing, a few different places. It's been a lot of fun.
So for you, you've been wrestling, for quite some time now. How do you feel, getting into the whole managing, just being that presence outside the ring, making sure, um, your homie, you know, make sure everything's good, ref don't do anything slick, the wrestlers don't do anything out of the ordinary. Like, what's that role like for you managing?
Right. It's a completely different animal than, being like a singles wrestler, because when you're wrestling, it's all about you. You're the star, you're the attraction, and you want all eyes on you. But when you're managing, not so much. Like, you're not the star in that moment. Paragon is the star. My enhance him and um, enhance the story that we're trying to tell in the ring. And like the dynamic that we play, it's kind of like I am his bodyguard. So at the same time, he's not wrestling men. So I'm getting in the face of men, and that there's kind of it can get tricky with that a little bit too, depending on how you look at it. Me personally, I'll get in your face and step up to you, and we're heel in a lot of different places, so that's a lot of fun because we get to do fun little cheating tactics here and there. Um, and he's a great trash talker. Like I said, he's probably one of the best on the mic in the independent scene when it comes to talking. So that's always fun. But it's different. It takes a little bit to try to figure out that that balance of wanting to be involved but not having the spotlight on you. 'Cause you don't want to be on the outside doing something and taking away from what's going on in the ring, because what's in the ring is more important than on the outside. So it's a learning process, but it's fun.
It's definitely a process indeed, and I definitely give you credit for being open to do it, and just going along with it. Obviously, managers. There's not that many female managers that I know of. So I felt, and we grew up looking up to managers like Miss Elizabeth, you know, Paul Bear, Jimmy Hart, you know, these flamboyant, and you know they all brought something different. You know, some with wrestling background as well. So to see you go with that role in Paragon, and y'all definitely have quite the dynamic, and it's definitely working, and y'all getting quite the reaction from the fans too. Now fans. Well, I'm a wrestling fan, and there'll be some trash talking here and there. They'll say all types of things. Um, I mean, what's the interaction like between you and the fans when you're out there managing?
Uh, yeah, it's fun because, like I said, a lot of the times, we are heel, so people are mad. When I debuted as his manager, it was at Midwest Championship in Marion, Ohio. And we had this fan, he's an older guy. I mean, he's probably, if he's not late 60s, early 70s. He got out of his chair, and he was screaming in my face, and he tried to follow me around the ring. Like, this man he was legitimately mad. And like the roaming camera guy had to step in between us so I could get away because this fan was not going to let me get away. So you have things like that, and people sit there and they make comments to you, but that's what you want. You want that reaction. You want them to you want them to react to you in that way. So you have people that trash talk us, and it's fun. You kind of go along with it. We do a lot of stuff at WFW World's Finest in Indiana, and that's been a really great time. Like, we had a whole group of people that were chanting Little Richard at him, so that was pretty cool too. Is you get involved with it, and you get them involved with it, and I think it makes it more fun for everyone. I don't mind if people hate me. Just doing my job.
So, your first day, your first night as a manager, introducing yourself and everything, and you got a 60-some-old person chasing you. Like, wow. I mean,
He took his hat off. He was screaming at me. There's pictures of it. There's video of it too. It was great.
Man, I mean, like you say, man, you want that reaction, and you got it. And I feel, and I've been to indie shows myself, and it's always the old people, the 50, 60 year olds that really, because they got some smart LA comments at the
Oh, they do.
they do. All I want to do is just boo and just say you stink or whatever. But yeah, and maybe hey, a little shot here and there. But yeah, good, Jesse.
It's fun.
That's a savage. She is a savage. So don't get it twisted, y'all. If you're gonna bring the trash talking, you better bring it. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
So you got any upcoming shows, upcoming events that your fans and even the haters want to keep an eye on?
I do. This weekend, Saturday, I actually will be at War Wrestling in my hometown, which is super cool. That's another stable that I recently just got brought into. It's a group called The Revolution. Matt Taylor. So I'm kind of like managing him in a way, but not really managing him because it's a stable, and I still do my own thing. But I will be at ringside with Matt Taylor while he is working or wrestling Orlando Christopher, which will be awesome. And then March 14th, I will be making my debut at IPW in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I will be fighting Heidi Katrina. So that will be a lot of fun, too.
Oh, I recognize that name. Yeah, that's the British girl.
She is. Yep.
Yeah, I seen her. I seen her wrestle Indiana. Yeah, she definitely represents the British folks out there. That's gonna be a good match between you two. I've seen her. She's a very good worker. So, I think
Absolutely.
I
Looking forward to it.
so fans are in for a treat. So with the wrestling side of things and the managing side of things, you definitely have shown versatility in your part. Um, what are some more goals you would like to set for yourself for the coming months as we get to that spring season? What are some goals you want to set for this year?
I mean, obviously, still keep training, still keep getting better at the craft and figuring more of that out. But I want to debut in more places, definitely make more states. I've got quite a few already, so that's been pretty cool. But I'd say definitely debut in different places. Like to get up in Toronto, make it up there at some point would be cool.
That would definitely be cool. You know, show you getting international. Okay, go up there in the six. You know, show
Yeah,
what
I love Toronto.
I've been to Toronto probably once. Very very cold city, but it's a lot of fun being there. So I definitely would love to see Jexy Blakk in my neck of the woods in Kentucky for sure. But if I have to make
Hey, I'm working on that.
but if I have to make the trip to Ohio, you know, to see Jesse, that will be cool too. I'm a former Ohio resident. I lived in Cincinnati for 7 years, Columbus for 4, and I am a diehard Ohio State Buckeyes football fan. So I love Ohio. I'm always gonna love Ohio. Um,
All right.
so so you know, there's a lot going on in the wrestling world. Um, you know, from a fan's perspective, what has stood out to you the most as a wrestling fan in 2020? Like a match, a character, anyone in particular? What has stood out to you as a fan in the wrestling world in 2020 thus far?
Um, Man, I mean, for me personally, I think as a wrestler, it's cool to have so many different options now. You know, AEW, love it or hate it, they're doing their own thing. You have NWA now, which is fantastic. You still have Impact. You know, ROH is still around. There's a lot of companies that are doing some pretty big things. So it's cool now to have options. You know, like of course everybody. I don't know. I shouldn't say everybody, but ideally you'd want to get that WWE contract and have a chance to work. You know, for the Fed, but you're not like pigeonholed into that now where that's your only option. You have other things that you can do. I think that's super exciting. As far as characters, I personally have been a big fan of Drew McIntyre. I think he's incredible. I'm absolutely in love with the fact that they have decided to start building around him. I think he has the potential to just be an absolute megastar in WWE. Love him. I think he's fantastic.
I am on the Drew McIntyre bandwagon as well. Um, I felt like, you know, maybe he could have been a world champion in his first go around, but it almost kind of reminds me of Kofi Kingston from last year. Like some
Sure.
things are just worth the wait. You know, sometimes you have to struggle. You have to go through the politics and everything to get to where you are. And it ended up working out for Kofi, and hopefully, with the grace of God, it will work for Drew McIntyre too. Um, he's got a good thing going, and fans are really on board. You know, you definitely can tell that fans really want this guy to 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 win that championship, and he's got a few weeks to do it. So I'm rooting for
Yeah.
him, and so many others are as well. Um,
Yeah. Because I think, like, just to kind of touch on that again real quick, like,
yeah,
a lot of the things that lack is an emotional connection between wrestlers and wrestling fans in some way. I don't know, because of social media, or we just have access to content all of the time, that things just kind of unfold very quickly. And with the Royal Rumble, Brock's out there and he's just running through everybody, and it's legitimately making people mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drew comes out there, bow, kick right in the face, eliminate. Every single fan in that building stood up and lost their mind. Everybody, like full-grown adults that know what's going on, in that very moment believed and absolutely loved what was happening. Like, you can't buy that. You can't script that. You can't, it was real, and it was raw, like raw emotion. And that's what's missing, I think, in a lot of ways, is just having such a reaction like that, where everybody just lost their mind, and then you're like, okay, I want Drew, and then, you got Roman that comes out, and everything else that's going on, and you're like, oh, it's going to be Roman again, and then here we go, we get Drew, and everybody's just like, hell yeah. It's great. I think it was nice. It was nice to see that play out the way that it did, regardless if it made people mad or not.
Yep, I definitely agree. One analogy I always use is that wrestlers can be like puppet masters, just control the fans at the palm of their hands, and and take us on an emotional trip. And fans, they handle things better than others. A lot of people were mad at how Brock started that Royal Rumble, and then Drew came in, stood up to him, and he handled his business when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So, Vince McMahon called him the chosen one over a decade ago, and maybe it may finally come to fruition now.
Sure.
So I'm all in. I'm all in that match, and hope the best for him. Before I let you go, Jesse, go ahead and promote your social media links, and let people know where they can find you.
All right. Okay, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jexy Rock, and on Facebook at Jexy Blakk, Blakk. Hit me up, share my stuff, say hello. Appreciate you.
Great chatting with you, and continued success, and keep doing your thing, and appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Hey, you too. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.